unplug myself from the matrix and begin my journey. Is, I guess, a testament to my stubbornness. But unfortunately, Joe Public had another idea. Have I learned something? Certainly learned something about myself. Red pill or blue pill, which one would you take? This was a choice or a decision that I made way back in September 2017. And after getting a loan and putting a few things in place, etc., buying a van, buying all of the other necessaries in order to document this whole thing. A year after that, July 2018, I unplugged myself from the matrix and begin my journey. It's bizarre really when I think back and I look back at the channel that I created in order to document this whole thing, and up here you can see the very first episode, Red or Blue Pill, and it's interesting to be in this position now, over 5 years from the decision that I made, and over 4 years of actually having to live with that choice and decision, and I get to where I am now. Now, when I embarked on this journey, I had no idea how long it was going to take, how long I would last. It could have been a month, it could have been 6 months, a year, and to be at this point now, 4 years down the line, I'm quite surprised with myself that I've managed to hack it for this long, because it has been very difficult. The first year, it's bumpy and there are a few hurdles to get over, but you do that because there is this sort of tinge of excitement because it's all new. But then after the first year and you're going into your second and you've explored all the avenues and you've met the community and everything's all fine and dandy, the joy of it and the benefits which a lot of people out there highlight tend to start to wear off. And yeah, the fact that I've managed this long is, I guess, a testament to my stubbornness, to my not wanting to be defeated, and I guess a bunch of other things, financially, all sorts of reasons as to why I'm still in this situation. And it got to a point where I was thinking to myself, I think I want to change my prescription. 2020 was always the thing that was either going to be a positive or a negative, and for me, I think it was more of a negative. The whole lockdown scenario took its toll, and it took its toll on many people, without a doubt. But the lifestyle that van lifers live, and the idea that it was meant to be really easy because we were already in a position where we were off grid, it should have been really easy, but it turned out to be a lot harder, and that's due to the masses migrating towards all of those that were trying to be quiet and off-grid and out of the way. But unfortunately, Joe Public had another idea and took government guidelines to the complete extreme, and in doing so has probably ruined van life and the freedom of being able to go to park-ups, etc. It's probably ruined it for the majority of us. But nonetheless, I think that was really the turning point for me. That was the bit where it started to get really difficult. And after that, van life hasn't really been the same. Park-ups that I used to have disappeared, with signs going up, barriers going up, etc. And it just left a real sort of bitter taste in my mouth in terms of how we as van lifers were perceived by the public, and not only just the public, but also the authorities as well. They really weren't helpful and certainly had a very sort of judgmental view, and if not somewhat disdainful view over the life that we lead. So with all of that debacle behind us, and us now being in this new situation, the new normal, as we like to call it, things have changed, and my view on van life has changed quite a lot. And it's been tiring, and I think I was at a point where, coming up to 4 years, to be honest with you, after 3 years I was ready to jack it in. There are parts of the way I live and the mechanics of how I live have just got to a point where I'm quite was really tired of it. So that call to go back onto the grid was beckoning, and it was the carrot which was dangling there and seriously tempting. And as much as I've enjoyed living the way I have to an extent, and I guess the most positive out of the enjoyment that I've had of living in the van is hands down the community. Unfortunately, that community for me is only something that I can tap into on very rare occasions. I live in a part of the country which bizarrely enough seems to have very few van lifers, and people don't seem to come this way often. So the road and the life that I lead is very, very solitary. And I think the community, when the opportunity arises and being able to go to van life meetups, etc., is the thing that sort of keeps me going. But unfortunately, it's only something that I can dip into every now and then. And it is hard when you don't have that support bubble there all the time, or you don't live in an area where you can just tap into that at any point that you want. It does make this particular journey very difficult. Also, I've been dogged with a lot of bad luck with my van in terms of things that have gone wrong with it, etc., and not having any idea about mechanics or any of those things. It's made it really, really difficult for me, and it's cost me a huge amount of money. I don't want to hazard a guess as to how much it's cost me over the years, but it's many thousands. And is it cheaper than being in a flat renting? Yeah, sure, it is. But do I think it's worth it? I don't know. Have I reached my goals? Not quite. Very close to. Nearly got there. And I suppose if I was to take a very positive view on it and a positive spin, then I probably have done very, very well, and have cleared credit cards, loans, etc. So that's a good thing, isn't it? But it's been a slog to get there. And I think because that slog has been longer than I anticipated, and in saying that, I don't think I ever had an idea as to how long it was going to be, but maybe in the back of my head, I thought it was going to be shorter. It's taken longer. And I think because of that duration, it's sapped my energy somewhat. So I'm waffling on here, and you're probably thinking, well, get to the bottom of it. What are you doing? And, you know, where is this video going? Well, I suppose ultimately it's saying that van life isn't all that it's cut out to be. And I think through my experience, through watching many channels, speaking to many people who own channels, to people who live in vans who don't own channels, that I think the responsibility as content makers or what have not, I think sometimes we do need to be a little bit more honest with ourselves and actually say that actually it's quite shit. And if you are going to embark on this journey, there are a few sort of truths that need to be put out there. I mean, this channel hasn't really reached the kind of levels of people that I would have liked it to have reached. So the angle and the side that I'm trying to portray probably hasn't been seen by those that I would like to have seen it. But nonetheless, that is what it is. And, you know, I just have to live with that. I guess really this journey is about looking after myself and everything. And yeah, a opportunity arose, something kind of changed within my life, and the temptation, the dangling carrot, was something that needed to be thought about and taken into consideration. Now, I have taken that into consideration, and after however many months, you know, another choice, I suppose, was made. And here I am at this point, trying to cut to the chase in this video and not keep it too long, and tell you where I have made a decision. So I guess you're going to want to know what the answer is, and I don't know whether I'll actually tell you. I apologise if you've been sat through this whole thing and yeah, the strobing of the Matrix movie behind you, etc. Yeah, hope you're all okay and not having seizures and fits out there. The four of you that are watching this. But I think in a weird way, the irony behind the Matrix movie and red pill emotion, etc., and taking a red pill and all of this bollocks, it's bizarre really, because ultimately the only part of van life really for me that is being unplugged, so to speak, is not living in a house, paying rent or a mortgage and paying council tax and bills. And that's it really, because other than that, you know, I don't need to preach to the converted, but you know, there are a lot of bills and there's a lot of expenditure, or can be a lot of expenditure with living in a van. And the internet plays a massive thing, and if the internet is not us in some way still plugged into the matrix, then I don't know what is, because ultimately I can't exist without it, because I need it in order to upload videos, to be able to watch videos. I spend most of my viewing is by watching content on YouTube, or going to the streaming platforms of Netflix or Amazon or whatever it is. So in a roundabout way, maybe we are still plugged in. So I don't know whether I've actually properly fulfilled that role, and maybe I am a fraud, really. Because certainly when it comes to winter, if it isn't for the services of this building that I work in, and the luxuries and I don't know, not so much as luxuries, but just necessities that I'm able to tap into in order to make my life comfortable. Without this, living in that van would be a complete fucking nightmare. So maybe I am still plugged in one way or another. I really don't know. So have I changed my prescription? Well, I guess you'll only know that if you see me at a van life event in the near future. And I guess that will be your answer. Have I failed? No, I haven't. I want to take a positive spin on it and think that, no, it was all worthwhile. The journey was worth doing. And yeah, have I learned something? Certainly learned something about myself. Not something that I particularly like, but nonetheless it's there. So where we go from here, who knows? I think I hear a phone ringing. I'll probably better go and answer that.